Hi everybody and welcome to another weekly update video. So I'm in a slightly different location. I am in my car and I'm going to explain why I'm in my car in a bit. But first of all, I want to cover off some Azure news that we've got. And recently we announced that we were going to have shared disks available, and that's going to be great for people and customers who want to do things like traditional SQL clustering on our IaaS virtual machines where they have that shared disk and you have the cluster on top, or even file share servers as well. I know a lot of customers that have wanted to go down that route when they are doing a lift and shift migration from their on-prem data center into Azure, and it's not been available, and they've had to either keep the workload on-prem or look at something else which has maybe delayed timelines or pushed things out and been a bit of a struggle for them in terms of where they are on their cloud adoption. So the shared cluster disks is a great move forward. We've also announced that Databox is allowing us to pre-seed our backups onto that if we want to use Azure Backup. We now have the ability to order a Databox and then do our initial replication or initial seed of a backup onto Databox and then ship that back into Azure, and then any future backups will happen just as an incremental. So any changes that have happened will just be replicated up into the cloud. And again, I know a ton of customers that'll be really useful for because of the size of their backups, the constraints on their network pipe, and just timelines and etc. So that's another great feature that's coming and is now in preview. So definitely have a look for those, and I'll put links in the show notes to describe what's happening and give you more information about that. So the reason I am in my car is because I'm just back from, or I'm just heading home from a coffee shop, farm shop that I've been working in for the last hour or so. And the reason I've decided to change location is I work from home generally, and this week I've been at home and I've been working on creating content, so blogging, editing videos, working on screencast type videos as well, and working on PowerPoints and slide decks. And to be honest, it's been a bit of a struggle this week in terms of keeping my concentration. And that's not because the job isn't exciting or the stuff I'm doing isn't exciting. It's just because it's been a slow week in terms of contact with my colleagues and meetings, etc. So I've pretty much been working on my own for the last few days, and I was starting to get a bit demotivated by the lack of contact, I think is probably the right way of saying it, and struggling just a wee bit with motivation again because there was nothing else going around and I was getting easily distracted. So actually for me, coming to this coffee shop you would think would be a natural distraction, but it's actually not, because I've been able to just have a nice coffee, have a bit of cake as well, put my headphones in, and I've just worked, and I've actually managed to get through a task that I've been struggling to get completed all week. So it's been really productive, and I think it's something that I've had to deal with working from home, culturally changing from working in an office surrounded by people 9 to 5 to working at home or adapting to the travel that I now have in my job. It's been a bit of a challenge getting used to that. So being able to have the flexibility to go out to these coffee shops, to maybe even meet a friend for a coffee and then spend an hour afterwards working, it has been great and helps my motivation, helps break up the days as well and change the four walls that I'm looking at, right? Sometimes I can manage to do that at home, so instead of working in my home office I can sit in my living room or sit at the kitchen table and manage to change that scenery and re-spark my concentration and motivation levels. So I think that's something to bear in mind if you're looking at maybe changing working at home, how you will adapt, how you'll be able to cope with the maybe lack of contact, physical contact with your colleagues and other people. So if you've got any working from home tips around how to deal with these kind of situations, then please do let me know. I'd love to hear what other people do and how they adapt to all of that as well. So other than that, this week I have been arranging some further trips. So I've got some trips coming up in terms of speaking engagements. I've been invited to a few more conferences and events, and hopefully I'll be able to share that in the next couple of days or next couple of weeks coming up. And please do check out itopstalk.com untitled.com. My team and I have been filling up our blog with content, and I'm seeing the pipeline coming forward for the next few weeks, and it looks super exciting. So if you've not checked out our blog, please do, and have a look at that. There's some awesome content for everybody there, from things like the Microsoft Cloud Adoption Framework, to containers, to Azure Arc. There's a ton of content there, so please do check that out. So everybody have a good weekend, and I will catch you next week. Thank you.